Jesus Daily Devotional as we continue in our series in the book of Ephesians. Today's devotional is entitled Chosen and Predestined. In our last reflection, we considered how God has revealed to us the mystery of his will, that he's going to restore all things and bring all things and bring peace to all things under Christ when he comes again. And he's working on that through the church to bring that peace even in this age. But that's the mystery of his will. He's revealed it to us. We're going to be in an eternity of glory, in a new heavens and a new earth. But today, I want us to reflect on this idea that if we're Christians, we are chosen and predestined to share in that great mystery of his will, to be in that place of glory and to be glorified and perfected ourselves. Let's read Ephesians 1, verse 11. In him we were also chosen, having been predestined according to the plan of him who works out everything in conformity with the purpose of his will. So firstly, we've been chosen in him. Paul reminds us that if we are Christians, we've been chosen for it, chosen to be in Christ, chosen to know Jesus, chosen to be born again. The Spirit has worked in us to give us eyes to see the wisdom of the cross. This is God's gift to us by the Spirit. But Christians have not only been chosen to know Jesus, we've been chosen for something. We've been chosen for that eternal state, to be in that place, that new heavens and new earth. Just like he created mankind at the beginning to be in that first creation, so he's chosen us to be in that new creation and to live in that new heavens and new earth and new world. There's much about it that's mysterious, but it's going to be eternal, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be joyful, and it's going to be filled with the presence and the glory of God. Humanity restored in its relationship with one another and with God. So he's chosen us for this eternal glory. And this reminds us of what we read earlier in verses 4 to 5. He chose us in him before the creation of the world to be holy and blameless in his sight. In love, he predestined us for adoption to sonship through Jesus Christ in accordance with his pleasure and will. So we are chosen to know Jesus Christ. So firstly, chosen in him. Secondly, predestined according to God's plan. Paul strengthens this truth of our being chosen by using this phrase and this idea about the sovereignty of God, that God works out all things in conformity with the purpose of his will, including not only all of history, but our own personal salvation is according to the will and sovereign plan of God. And we read in verse 11, predestined according to the plan of him who works out everything in conformity with the purpose of his will. Paul is likely reflecting, isn't he, on his own salvation. Paul was living a life where he thought he was obeying God, but he was actually rebelling against God. He was rebelling against the God who sent his only son. He was rebelling against Jesus. He was persecuting the church. Yet, whilst he was going toward Damascus to persecute the church, he's knocked off his horse and he comes to faith. He comes to know Jesus. God reveals himself to Paul. He's been predestined according to the plan of him who works out everything in conformity with the purpose of his will. Even Paul's own rebellion cannot fight against God's grace, and that's true of you and me. Our rebellious hearts have been overcome by the sovereign love of God, chosen in him before the creation of the world to know him. Our sovereign Lord has saved us. And you see, for us, though, when we choose Our choices are normally uncertain, aren't they? Circumstances may not work out. People may not agree with us. We may want something, but it falls through. And we all experience that all the time. And we can sometimes project that onto God. That clearly is not the case, is it? God works out all things according to the purpose of his will. Even evil. We see it in the death of Christ. Yes, evil men put Christ to death. Pontius Pilate, the high priest, the crowds, they all put him to death. But we know that that was all according to the sovereign plan and work of God. His great sovereignty even overcomes evil. And he even uses evil. Not that he obviously is the author of evil at all. Of course not. But all these things are taken into account in God's great plans. So I hope we are feeling comforted by this truth, that God has chosen us to be his children, chosen us to be with him in glory. He is working all things out in our lives and in the world according to his great purposes. And I hope that these things are causing us to rejoice, causing us to be, even though things are insecure around us, we have a secure foundation in the love and sovereignty of God. I hope that our being chosen and that God's being sovereign is being worked out in our own prayers and the way we worship and the way we trust him every day. God bless you.